Hey YouTube fam, what's up? It's Patrick. As always, thank you so much for coming out here to join me for these practices. It's so awesome to be able to share space with you. Before we begin this session, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. New classes are going to be coming out every Wednesday, and after you finish this session, leave a comment, let me know how it went. We're going to do a lot of work in the legs today. It's going to be a ton of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. So let's go ahead and start standing on your mat today. Close your eyes, take a moment. So let's go ahead and start standing today. Close your eyes, take a moment. Don't make it more or less complicated for yourself. If you feel a little wobbly closing your eyes standing up, kind of leave one open a little bit. Or it's always good to go in. It's also always good to make sure that when you go in, you can come back out. Take a few breaths here. Find a good rhythm to your inhale, your pause, and your exhale. And center yourself. Give yourself the opportunity today to explore your practice, to work into your body, and to find a fun bit of awareness as we challenge our balance in a number of different ways. From here, go ahead and blink your eyes open. And we'll work through a few soft chair poses to begin. So we'll take around 3 in a row. You can have your feet slightly separated here. Push into your big toes. Feel that to be an anchoring point. And then tilt your tailbone back slightly. Feel the activity in your glutes. And then sit your hips back in space. Let your hands just reach forward a bit. So you're sitting back, you're finding depth. And then go ahead and rise out of the position. So just warming up the legs. Sit your hips back. Reach your hands forward. Rise up. Sit your hips back. Reach your hands forward, rise up. Sit your hips back, reach your hands forward. Try to sit a little bit further back. Let's hold this one. So we're beginning to work into the legs a bit more. And I know I initially said tilt the tailbone back. That's where we want to start. Now see if you can tuck the tailbone under just slightly and really get active in your legs here. So you can feel your feet almost pulling the mat apart a little bit. You can feel the heels dragging underneath you, pulling you forward. Legs are strong and stable, and maybe even allows you to sit a little bit lower here. Try to hold for 4, 3, 2. On 1, reach your hands back in space, lean forward, and then fold over your legs. Let your index and middle finger catch your big toe. Pull yourself down towards the floor. And again, this doesn't have to be too intense. It's just giving you the chance to really drop down and into the back line of your body. So we have a little bit of, activation in the legs, if you will. And then we're finding a nice stretch here and a good pull through the hands. On your next exhale, release. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stretch your hands up towards the sky. Get as long and tall as possible. And exhale, hands come back into heart center. Nice. Root into your right foot this time. Press down through your right big toe all the way to your pinky. Feel the lift through the inner arch. And then I want you to take chair pose, but lift your left heel. So you're bending both knees. Your left heel is lifted. Right heel is grounded. Hands can be anywhere that helps you feel balanced. Now, see if you can drive your left knee into your chest. Squeeze up towards your collarbone as much as you can. And then set your left foot down. Drop your left heel to the floor. Straighten your legs. Sit your hips low. Keep your right heel lifted this time. So we're moving over to the second side. Feeling the work in your left leg, feeling all that stability. Push into your left big toe. Float your right foot off the ground. Drive your right knee up towards your right collarbone. I know you're feeling this here. Find the stability so we begin to work in towards our flow. Set your right foot down. Drop your right heel. Straighten your legs. Push your hips forward. Reach your hands up towards the sky. And you'll notice there, the bend does not need to be dramatic at all for you to find the work, the energy, and the focus in the pose. On your exhale, hands come back to heart center. Push into your right foot, lift your left heel, left toe stay grounded. Sit as low as you can here. Try to sit even lower. Push into your right foot quite a bit. Feel strong in your leg. Drive your left knee into your chest. Now this time I want you to hinge forward, keeping your left foot floating as much as you can, and then stretch your left foot back as if you're going to go to lunge. Tap the floor with your left big toe, and then pull your left knee all the way back into your chest, and land your left foot down by your right. Legs are straight here. Push into your left foot.
Drive into your right toes to lift your right heel off the ground. Bend your left knee. Try to sit your hips back in space. Good. And again, really anything where you can feel the balance or the work in your left leg, that's what you're aiming for here. So as we float the right foot off the ground, I don't care if your arms are out wide or they're forward, you're just working with your body in your practice. All right, drive your right knee up and then stretch your right foot back as you tilt forward. So feel the hinging action. Stretch your right foot as far back in space as you can. Linger here for a moment. Tap your right big toe to the floor and then drive your right knee into your chest. Straighten your left leg. Rise to stand. Root into your right foot. Root into your left foot. Rise on to your left toe so your left heel lifts. Bend your right knee again, sitting lower. Try to really work with your breath here to help you find balance and stability. Drive your left knee into your chest. Feel the lift. Feel the squeeze at your left hip crease. Now hinge forward. As you hinge forward, you stretch the left foot as far back as possible. Try to lift it up this time. Think about our crouching warrior position. And then land your left foot at the back of the mat this time. Rise into lunge. Inhale, reach your hands up towards the sky. Get as long and tall as possible here. Bring your hands to heart center. Left knee comes back into the chest as you straighten your right leg. Let your left foot land. As you root into the left foot, rise onto the right toe. Sit into, I guess what you could call a half chair pose. Feel the strength in your left leg. Notice I really like to push my hands together in this faux circle shape. Helps me feel balanced. You can do that too if it works for you. Right knee into chest, give it a squeeze. Really try to work from your right hip here as much as possible. Hinge forward from the left hip. Reach your right foot back in space, hands at heart center. You feel all the strength in your legs here. In your crouching warrior pose, strong in your right leg, long in your chest, pushing into your left big toe. Slowly land your right foot at the back of the mat. Rise into your high lunge. Reach through your fingers. Create a bit of space. Lift through your core. Bring your hands to heart center. Right knee into chest as you straighten your left leg. Find standing. Push into your right foot. Wiggle the feet out just a little bit. Bend the knees and then go ahead and fold down. This time slide your hands underneath your feet. Press your toes into your wrist creases. Push down. Feel a little bit of space here. Lengthen your skull a bit. Let your head be heavy. Let this be a moment of relief for the legs. On your exhale, release. Inhale, rise up to stand. The game's the same in the beginning. We'll play with a few more little movements and make it a complete flow. Rise onto your left toes. Sit into your right heel. Left knee into chest. Hands to heart center, crouching warrior. Left leg stretches back, right knee bends deeply. Left foot lands at the back of the mat, lunge. Rise up. Now I want you to bend your left knee, straighten your right leg as much as you can. Right toes will leave the floor. Pull yourself back forward into your lunge. Take your right knee as far out towards the top of the mat as you can. Hands to heart center. Left knee into chest. Left foot lands. Rise on to the right toes. Sit your hips low, half chair pose. Right knee into chest. Lifting up. Crouching warrior, hinging from the hips. Stretch your right foot back in space as you lean forward. Bend your left knee generously. Really work through the right foot lifting. Graciously land the right foot at the back of the mat. Finding your high lunge, use an inhale to take you there. Strong in your right leg. Until now, we bend the right knee and straighten the left leg, lifting your left toes off the floor. Pull yourself forward by bending your left knee. Sink as deep as you can. Think about your tailbone touching the back of your left Achilles tendon, and then rise up to stand. Right knee into chest, right foot to the floor. One more round here. You're doing excellent. Rise onto your left toes. Sit your hips low. Reach your hands anywhere. Left knee comes into your chest. Give it the squeeze. Wonderful. Crouching warrior. And again, the squeeze coming from your hip, not your hands, of course. Really allowing yourself to reach out. Land your left foot at the back of the mat. High lunge. As long and strong as you can be in your left leg. And then bend your left knee as you straighten your right leg. Lift your toes off the ground. Work the instability of the position. Bend your right knee. Pull yourself forward. Think about your tailbone sitting all the way down towards your right Achilles tendon. Hands the heart center. Lean forward. Left knee into chest. Left foot lands. Rise onto the right toes. Sit your hips low. Chair pose or half chair pose. Last time here. Right knee into chest. Lift it up. Crouching warrior. Hands at heart center. Right foot reaches back in space. Lean your heart forward. Land your right foot at the back of the mat. High lunge, strong in your right leg. Let your hips sit low. Feel the work in your foundation. Bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, pull your left hip back in space, work the wobbliness here. And then bend your left knee, pull yourself forward. Try to sit as deep as you can. Rise out of that depth. Right knee into chest, right foot to floor. Wonderful job. Push your hips forward. Inhale, open your spine, reach your hands up and back behind you. Exhale, fold to the ground. Left foot steps to the back of the mat. Lower your left knee down. Root into your left hand backstroke. Right hand reaches around, catches the outside of your left ankle. You just worked this muscle quite a bit here. So hopefully stretching it out will feel really nice. Let's take 4 breaths here. After you finish your 4th breath, I want you to begin to kick your left foot into your right hand. Put a bit of vigor into that kick. Really begin to drive. Drive, drive, drive. Left foot into right hand for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, keep your right hand where it is. Try to squeeze your left heel towards your butt so it's taking all the pressure away from your right hand. Keep putting that in. Keep feeling the squeeze. Work through your hamstring. You've got this for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1. Release your left leg. Wonderful job. Straighten your right leg. Fold over your right shin or inside of your right shin. Half splits. Whatever feels good to you here. Try to get long. Try to melt down. Find your breath. Find some space. Bend your right knee. Frame your right foot with your fingertips. Push the top of your left foot into the floor, lifting your left knee off the ground. Feel as though you're kicking the left foot down and underneath you, so your left foot's trying to come through the floor to be parallel with your right foot. So really feel the push there. Pulling underneath you. Use your breath to make this available. You're working here for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, try to lift up in the other direction. So try to take pressure off the left foot in the floor. Try to kick it up. You've got this. 5, 4. Make your left foot as light as possible. 3, 2. On 1, half splits. Again, this time add the twist. So as you straighten your right leg relatively, take your hands to the outside of your right ankle. Just come across body a little bit here. Hopefully it feels a bit more spacious. And return to center. Bend your right knee. Place your hands on the floor. And then shoot your right foot back to what some may call a bird dog pose. So your hands are on the ground and your right foot's just reaching back in space. Root into your hands here. And use this as an opportunity to warm up your wrists a little bit. Just kind of stacking the shoulders on top. Engage your core and just keep reaching through your right leg. And then set your right foot down. Tuck your left toes. Downward facing dog. As you make it there, push your hips up and back in space. Really try to get long through the spine. And notice how much freedom you have in your body here. Even though the work we've done so far in our practice has been quite challenging, it's actually helping you open up a fair bit of space. Inhale, roll forward into your plank pose. If you need to drop to the knees in your plank due to the physical stress of the position, muscularly or on your wrists, of course, drop the knees. Grip through your hands. Find a nice bit of stability here, a nice bit of action in your core. And then lower to the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let your hips land, let your fingertips land. Inhale, lift your chest up. And exhale, lower, down. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, lower, down. 2 more. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, lower, down. Inhale, lift your chest up. And exhale, lower, down. Place your hands on the floor. Rise up to chaturanga. So your arms are going to be bent. That low push-up position. You're going to try to hold it here. You've got this for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1 plank pose. Knees drop, forearms drop, look forward. Inhale, pull through. Upward facing dog. Exhale, wave back, downward facing dog. Your journey to the top of the mat, feet to thumbs. You can step, float, fly, or of course, teleport yourself there. As you land, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, stretch your hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Rise onto the tips of your toes. The very, very tips. Don't be shy here. Legs long and straight, tips of toes, working through the big toes, working through the inner arches of your feet. Slowly sit all the way down to your heels. As you land, lift your knees up higher, spread them wide, hold right here, toe stand or take crow pose. If you're working on your crow for the first time, you've never done it before, spread your knees wide, bring your elbows to the insides of your legs, look forward and then lean into your hands. Notice my hips are lower than my shoulders. That gives me more opportunity at first to float my feet off the ground. So I hope that helps you. Remember to look forward. Don't look back at your feet. It will drop your center of gravity. Look out in front of you, no matter who you are in crow pose. Legs can be lifted high, of course. Game is the same. Release. Feet land. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, push your hips forward, open your heart, reach through your fingers. Exhale, hands through center. Let your fingertips land, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Lower your right knee down. Twisted lizard lunge, backstroke through your left arm. You have 4 breaths here, just as we did on the first side. Peel yourself open a little bit more. Roll open here through your left shoulder. Find space, find breath. Give yourself a moment to get acclimated with this space. And now we're going to begin to work the position a little bit. So kick your right foot into your left hand with all your might. Really begin to drive the right ankle, the top of the right foot into your hand. Notice how it's helping you create space. It's also helping you work really hard. You're here for 5. Nice job. Stick with it. Do your best. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now squeeze your right heel towards your butt. Greatest effort. Try to take all the pressure off your left hand. You can do it. Try to get a little bit longer through your spine. Keep squeezing through your hamstring. 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Release your Ardha Hanuman. your variation of the half splits. Fold down. And the first half splits I like to do, I always really like to work on the fold from my hip as much as possible. And that helps me go deeper into my hamstring, right? Being tied to the aesthetic of straight right away isn't going to be as helpful for most of us, because what that's going to end up doing is moving us away from the line of leverage, right? So as I straighten my leg, the connection between my rib cage and my left leg left. But if I keep it, I can find much more stretch and also much more activation. Bend your left knee. Begin to kick the top of the right foot into the floor, similar to our Chandrasana lunge we often take, but we are going to keep the fingertips framing the left foot. So we're going to stay low today. I really want you to feel the top of your right foot into the floor. Try to push the right foot through the ground. Push the right foot through the ground like it's coming to the top of the mat. It's going to come in line with the left foot. It's going through the floor like you're digging a huge trench. Try to breathe here. You're doing awesome. Stick with it. Try to keep your focus. Keep your focus here for the final 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, feel the weight of your right foot. Now try to eliminate it. Lift your right foot off the ground from here. Just lift, 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 lift. Feel your core working for you. Feel everything part of the equation. Really try to get into this space. Lift, 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 lift for 3, for 2. On 1, let it go. Find some softness. Your half splits. We took the twist on the other side. Let's take it here. Right hand comes to the outside of the left foot. See if this helps you just change up the angle. This is a nice place to fully straighten the leg. The twist helps you move through the hips a little bit more, create a bit more compression, which is always nice. Find a good bit of stability here. Trust yourself to linger for just a moment. Find the softness. Find the stillness. Bend your left knee. Slowly return to center. Plant into your palms. And then stretch your left leg back in space. And again, just an opportunity to feel your hands on the ground and to let your left leg be free, but also help you stay connected to your core. Drive into your palms here. Stay stable. Grip with your fingers. Feel as though you're pulling energy from the floor into your body. Land your left foot. Tuck your right toes. Downward facing dog. I hope this feels like an amazing downward facing dog. It really feels that way for me. I feel like we've created a lot of space through the hips, through the spine today. And I hope you can feel that as well. And that's, part of working on your balance, working on your range of motion, just giving yourself the opportunity and the ability to really explore these poses in a fresh way. Look forward, lift heels, bend knees. Bottom of exhale, feet will begin their journey up to the thumbs. As they land, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up to stand. Stretch your hands up to the sky. And then bring your hands to center. Rise onto your toes. Lift your heels as high as possible. Engage your core here. Feel the length in your legs. And then slowly sit down to the heels. Let's take our time here. Let's make it a 10 count journey. So you're really working your toes. For 10, 9, 8, 7. Try to work the hamstrings and glutes as well. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1. See how high you can be on your toes and how high your knees can be up towards your collarbones. When you're ready, one more round of crow pose or hold this toe stand for as long as you can muster. If you're setting up your crow pose, And you're looking for that next step. So after you feel the balance with the arms to the inside and the knees wide, try to stack your knees up on your triceps high and make sure you can pull your chest forward. So still keep the hips low, bend the elbows, and feel the ability to lean out. Look forward. Like try to look 7 feet out in front of you. It's kind of a ridiculous thing to consider in this rounded position, but it's really helpful to organizing your body in this space. Be there for 3, 2, wonderful job. On 1, you're in your toe stand. Everybody, that's where we'll meet. Slowly rise all the way back up to stand. Work through the feet. Hold this position on the tips of your toes. Take a breath here. And then lower your heels down. As your heels find the floor, sit all the way to the ground. Hopefully that range of motion feels really open to you today. We have one final pose, and it's going to be bridge. We've been taking this position a lot recently in our classes, and I just think it's so valuable and often overlooked. So we're going to do 4 pulses and then hold the 5th one. Put your shoulder blades together, tips of fingertips, touch backs of Achilles tendons or even ankles. And then drive your hips up, find elevation, active glutes, and then lower. Lift. This is 2. Lower. Lift. This is 3. Lower. Lift. 4. Lower. Lift. This is 5. We're going to hold it. See if you can pull your shins underneath you. Really keep driving through your feet. You're here. Breathing, marinating, putting in the work, putting in the effort, creating your connection for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Let it go. Let it go. Open your arms up like a T. If you are at home and you have a wall nearby, stretch your legs up on the wall. They can stay vertical or they can open up. And if you don't happen to have a wall nearby, just take your feet up to the sky. If you have a bolster, cushion, or a little block, you can put that underneath your hips. If you want to work the natural curves of your spine here, that helps you relax a little bit more. By all means, do. Close your eyes here. Bring all of the focus to your breath. Throughout this journey, we did a lot of challenging stuff, a lot of work in your feet. Your toes are probably feeling more alive than they have in a long time. And so when you do things like this, you always want to acknowledge it. Be grateful to yourself for being able to show up, for putting in the work, for having fun along the way. And you also want to find some softness, the ability to rest and recover, to recharge your batteries, if you will. Every time you come onto this mat, you really are practicing out of a love for yourself, and you're finding an opportunity for awareness, for mindfulness, for consciousness. You're becoming more connected to yourself. You're beginning to know yourself better, know your tendencies, know your habits. Notice when your mind says stop. Noticing when your body says stop. Noticing when your mind says go, yeah, let's get it. Noticing when your body says the same thing, right? And so you're just beginning to have a bit more of an understanding of yourself because you're putting yourself in many different situations. And there's a real joy to that process. Stay open to it. Stay connected to it. Be an explorer of your human experience. If you have your legs up a wall, feel free to stay there for shavasana. If you're floating around in the middle of a room or the middle of a field or a beach or somewhere wonderful, come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring your one hand to heart center, one hand onto the belly, and just close your eyes and really feel a softness entering your physical form here. Take a few more breaths. Really linger. Bring all the focus to the inhale, the pause, and the exhale. Don't try to control it. Just try to embody it. Feel free to fully linger in this space for as long as you'd like. Thank you so much for joining me for this session. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.